What's up, bronies, ponies, coaster enthusiasts, and other creatures? My name is Draftsmanulus, and today we're going to make another P.C.R. with Helix at liseberg, or liseberg, whatever you want to call it. This is my new favorite coaster and have dethroned Phoenix, which was my favorite before. So, no time to waste, let's just jump right into the video. So, Helix is a Mac multi-launch and it opened in 2014. It has a length of 1,381 meter, that is equivalent to 4,530.8 feet in length, and it has a height of 41 meters or 134.5 feet. It has a top speed of 100 kilometers per hour, which is 62.1 miles per hour, and has 7 inversions, which is 2 corkscrews, a Norwegian loop, 0 G-roll, an inside top hat, and an inline twist. So, what seat would I recommend to you guys? I would 100% recommend the back row. Not that the front row is bad, but it's definitely not as good as the back row. The back row is just better, except one part where I felt that the front was better, which I will come to when we go through the layout. So let's just go to the layout. So it starts out with the drop out of the station. This actually gives some alright flowjector in the back row, I would say, which goes directly into a very whippy corkscrew, especially in the front row actually, not because that is better. Then it goes around and goes into the first launch. The launch isn't that good, but that is kind of what a Mac launch do. So, and then it goes into the second corkscrew, which I would say is more like a 0 G-roll, but it says it's a corkscrew on the RCDB. Then it goes into the very first airtime hill after a turn, which it's not the best airtime, it's probably the weakest airtime hill on the ride, but it's alright. Then after a turn you will go into the most forceful part of the ride. This is the Norwegian loop. This is probably the most intense inversion I have tried. This is extremely intense. I don't know if it's the intensest I've tried, but this is one of the most intense things I have felt. And then you go into the second airtime hill. It's kind of lays in this kind of upward spiral, I guess. I don't know. Where the first one is the worst one, and then it just gets better from there. This is the medium one. It's very good. Gives some great flowjector. But after that, you go into a 0 G-roll. It's very whippy, and it's just absolutely great. I love this. Then you get to not an official airtime hill, but this is technically an airtime hill for if you try it. It's a bank turn right there, and this gives a little bit of airtime, sideways airtime, even though it doesn't look like to give a whole lot, but it actually gives a little bit of airtime. And the turn also gives a little bit of force as well, which is the force is pretty much why I like this ride better than Phoenix and the launches. Then the second launch comes. This is better than the first one, but still not great. It's not even better than Juwelen, and that is a drive tire launch. But if you sit in the front row, then you can feel wind in your face, of course. But then you go into the top hat, and the exit to the top hat is actually very good in the front row, and that is actually the only part of the ride where I actually thought, whoa, that was actually great in the front row. But that was also it. It's also very good in the back row. You get a little bit of whip when you comes out of it, and you get a lot of hang time in all rows actually, even though I only tried those 2 rows. And then I would like to call this the space shooter airtime hill, because this, forget the first drop of Phoenix, this airtime hill is strong. I think that is at least -2 Gs you get there. Like, if there wasn't a lap bar holding you in, you would fly to the moon. That is some of the most extreme airtime I have ever felt on any coaster. and it's just absolutely amazing. So after that, you pretty much go into some twisty twists, which gives small laterals, and it's very fun actually. And then we go into one of my favorite part of the ride. As I said in my Phoenix review, I love hang time all over the world. So that last inline twist that gets there right there in the end before the brake run, that is just amazing. It's so floaty and it gives so much hang time. Not as much as the top hat, inside top hat, but it's still so great, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of the ride. I think this is second best part of the ride, just after the space airtime hill. So that was the ride. You just go into the brake run after that, and now I actually want to talk about the appearance, because the appearance of this coaster is actually a very big part of this. First of all, I really want to talk about the location, because liseberg is very much on like a hillside, a mountain, I don't know what to call it, which, whoa, that really does something when you live in Denmark, and going up on that hillside, that's just something else. And then try a roller coaster that goes up and down that hillside. That is just absolutely amazing, and it also looks good. Like, I remember the day before I went in there, I was just like walking around in the town of Göteborg, and I was just over at the entrance. Actually, it hasn't opened yet at that point. We just saw Helix from that point. I just knew that was amazing. The other thing I want to talk about is the theming. There aren't like a whole lot of theming on this ride. Again, as I said with Phoenix, it's not just Summerland level theming, but it is alright for what it is. I actually feel like the participants in Squid Game or something when I'm in the queue, because it's, except for there's many less colors, then it's kind of like the same. Another thing is just the track color in general. It's just very good. Like, you can see it go, but it still like blends into the mountain because it's green, and I just think it looks very good. Another thing, and this should be, they should go to jail for this, because no roller coaster music should slap that hard as the music for Helix does. This, I have never heard anything better than that. If you haven't heard the song to Helix, then you probably should. It needs to be the station music. The other one is kind of meh. But the one in the actual station, that is probably the best roller coaster music I have ever heard. And I am so annoyed that it isn't on Spotify so I can get it on my playlist. But yeah, that was kind of the whole ride. And really, I would just love to say that I love this ride. This is absolutely amazing. This is, and probably will be, maybe for the rest of the year, I maybe have plans to go to Hansa Park so I could try Swartes Kanen. So maybe that would be better, but I don't know. I don't even know if it's gonna happen. But maybe it will overthrow Helix, but I really think right now there are none right now that can overtake Helix as my first place. I really love Helix, and even though it only has 3 airtime hills, then it's just an amazing ride overall. There's also the intensity that Phoenix lacks, and it also has every inversion as well. And it has the whip even, so it has like everything that Phoenix has, but just also the intensity that the Phoenix just don't have. And then the launch, I am much more fan of launches than I am of lift hills. Even though I don't really mind Phoenixes, because it goes so fast. So, that was all for this video. Thank you for watching. I want to know what your thoughts of Helix is if you tried it, and if you don't, then please tell me what you think you will think about it when you try it. Remember to like if you like the video, and subscribe if you want to see more coaster and pony content. But with that said, I'll just see you in the next video. Brohoof, see ya.